So pretty much everybody these days has a GPS in their car or on their phone and probably takes it for granted. Particularly the phone, because you can do a lot more with it than just road navigation. You can also do pedestrian navigation. But what happens if you can't see very well? I can see some out of my left eye. However, if I do not turn my head, my peripheral vision's not all that great. And and I've got very severe glare sensitivity. As an example, whenever I go out into the community on a bright day, it can sometimes take my eyes at least a couple of minutes to adjust, at which point, obviously you could put on sunglasses, but because of my depth perception issues, you have issues when it comes to things kind of, shall we say, mashing together. Because I don't have any vision in my right eye, I don't have any 3D perception at all. One of the things that this proves difficult with is colors that sometimes blend in. For example, I may think that a passing vehicle or a stopped vehicle might be part of a road sign or an advertisement and may look kind of strange. Until that vehicle starts to move, I can see the print moving, at which point I'd be able to tell that it's, two completely different objects. But until they move, if they blend in well enough, then I wouldn't be able to tell one from the other. Because of this glare sensitivity, depending on the conditions, I could see myself having an issue seeing my phone outdoors. In fact, sometimes this has come up, and these days, what phone isn't, you can read it outside, but depending on how glossy your screen is, you do end up getting some reflection. It's like there's no way around it. And then, of course, you've got dedicated units for GPS, just like this one that you can use in your car. The trouble is they don't really have a pedestrian mode. These don't necessarily have, they're meant for use on foot, but they're better touted for hiking. Same with these. What's more, they're not necessarily built with somebody with partial sight in mind. In the sense that they don't necessarily combine public transport and walking. Now again, your phone could do this, but we have the readability issues outdoors, number one, and number two, from a personal standpoint, I really don't like the idea of Google or Apple collecting all my GPS data. To that end, there are really only two possible options that I see, but this is why I'm making this video in the first place. I'm thinking about, trying to find more independent ways of getting around, and I was thinking about a pedestrian-friendly GPS. This is one of them, and you notice there's no screen on it at all. That's because it's specifically designed with the blind in mind. This is the Trekker Breeze by Humanware. The problem with the Breeze is the maps. The maps in the system are only, as I understand it, they only cover a few states. Now, I could be wrong about that. I saw a video that was made some years ago. So that's one option. The other option is this. And this is, it kind of looks like a credit card. It's about the size of a cell phone. And for those of you who can see, you probably noticed there are no printed labels. Again, this is designed with the blind in mind. This is a Capten, K-A-P-T-E-N, but it's pronounced like captain, like the captain of a ship. Handheld GPS, and it's also got a built-in book player and audio player. But here's the thing, though. I'm really debating whether or not this would be usable for me. One of the other problems I have with the depth perception and the glare, the photosensitivity, is in unfamiliar environments. Sometimes ramps can creep up on me. I really should use my cane when I go in unfamiliar environments, even though I often forget to, because for the most part, I don't go into environments that are not familiar, but I'd like to try to change that. But because I have some usable vision, I don't necessarily need everything announced as I walk along. Now, as I understand it, you could turn that off, but basically what I'm trying to determine here is if I do decide to go ahead with this sometime in the future, and when I say sometime, I say maybe in the next year or two, I don't know, I'm just mulling this over in my head right now. To recap, like I said, I have photosensitivity issues, which I really should be wearing sunglasses more often outside than I do. I have depth perception issues, my peripheral vision isn't all that great, and in some instances I may blend in colors. Otherwise, I can see pretty well. Out of my only seeing eye, which is my left. I can't see anything out of my right eye at all. Which oftentimes results in me bumping into people inadvertently, because I don't hear them or see them coming up alongside until I accidentally just bump into them. Sometimes it's not been uncommon for me to accidentally trip. If I'm trying to turn right, they're trying to turn left, and because I can't see them, we both end up going down if they're carrying a big stack of papers or something. But because I can see some, I'm really wondering if I should even attempt to look into one of these specialty talking GPSs for the blind, or if I should just suck it up, as it were, and try using my phone. The main problems, again, with my phone would be glare from the screen, because it is a glossy screen. What phone isn't these days? And where I live, there's a lot of bright sunlight, especially out around the mid-afternoon hours and early evening. But also, I don't like the idea of Google utilizing my contacts or utilizing my location. But the third thing is, if I get a phone call and I'm moving along and I take that phone call like if it's an important call, I'm not sure if the GPS is still working. I'm not sure how much extra battery it's going to drain. So I'm really up in the air about this. That's why I'm asking your guys' opinion. I apologize for repeating myself. I'm just thinking as I speak. But should I attempt to go with one of these solutions? Again, the handhelds that they do have, I think, are primarily meant more for nature hikes than anything. Or should I go ahead and spend the extra money or look into alternative methods of obtaining one of these specialty for the blind talking GPSs? Now, before I forget, these handheld units here, you can take a look at the prices, $4.99 and up. The Trekker Breeze is $6.99, and the Captain is $4.99. But I think the Captain is really neat because it does have full US and Canada maps included, which does allow for some international traveling. The other thing that I'm not sure about with the mainstream, like the cell phone solution, is with the Captain and the Trekker, what happens is you can combine walking with public transport, which is nice because if you're going somewhere and walking is too far, then it'll tell you go to so and so bus stop, get on the bus, remain on the bus for so many stops, get off, continue walking, kind of thing. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've never used one of these mainstream solutions in pedestrian mode. I don't know what options they offer compared to one of these. And the other really nice thing is because of my depth perception, I sometimes get confused when people point in certain directions, especially if there are multiple objects in that particular vicinity. And the GPS can tell me, okay, continue on your path towards 10 o'clock if I'm in a central park, for example, looking for a particular bench. But basically, that's the question I'm asking. Should I go for a specialist solution, or should I just try my cell phone and suck it up about the whole Google collecting data business, or should I go for a mainstream handheld GPS? I don't even know if they have a pedestrian mode that is specifically catered to people who just like to walk. So what do you guys think? Again, this is primarily to encourage more independent travel and particularly on foot as traffic becomes more and more restless in the future. Plus, people these days are walking a lot more, so I would think that this sort of thing is on the rise. But given my special conditions, what do you guys think? Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.